The mask of friendship. Have you ever looked around and felt that people were only there when they needed something, that their smiles disappeared the moment you lost your advantage? You're not paranoid, you're just waking up. In the game of power, there are no real friends, only shifting alliances. Behind every handshake might be a hidden dagger. Behind every compliment, a calculation. And once you're no longer useful, silence, distance, betrayal. Today we're diving into one of the most brutally honest minds in history, Niccolò Machiavelli. His philosophy isn't just about kings and princes, it's about your boss, your loyal friends, even you. We'll break down 6 powerful truths from his work, and how they still shape the dirty game of power today. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll never see friendship or power the same way again. 1. Friendship is transactional. In the world of Machiavelli, friendship isn't sacred. It's strategic. This may sound cold, but it's often painfully true. Machiavelli observed that people form relationships based on utility. When you're useful, you're popular. When you're not, you become invisible. Most friendships, especially in powerful circles, are conditional. People associate with you because you offer status, access, money, protection, or emotional validation. Once those benefits disappear, so do they. Machiavelli didn't say this to depress you, he said it to arm you with awareness. This isn't to say real human connection is impossible, but when power is involved, it becomes polluted. Machiavelli teaches us to stop assuming everyone around us has pure intentions. If you want to survive in a power game, treat friendships like alliances, not promises. 2. Better feared than loved. One of Machiavelli's most quoted lines is, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." It's controversial, but when you dig into it, it reveals a timeless truth about leadership, influence, and control. When people love you, they are loyal only when it's convenient. But fear creates a boundary. It instills a sense of consequence. Love is emotional, unstable. Fear is strategic, predictable. Leaders who rely solely on love are often betrayed when times get tough. Now, Machiavelli wasn't telling you to become a tyrant. He was warning you not to be naive. If you must choose between being respected and being liked, choose respect, because the game of power is filled with smiling enemies, and those who are feared are harder to backstab. 3. The mask of virtue. Machiavelli was one of the first to openly admit what most rulers kept hidden. Appearances matter more than reality. People judge by what they see, not what is. So the wise player wears the mask of virtue, even when playing a dirty game behind it. He advised leaders to appear merciful, faithful, humane, and religious, even if they are none of those things. Why? Because society wants to believe in a noble leader. We crave symbols of virtue even if they're fake. The illusion keeps people calm. It gives them hope, even if it's false. But behind the curtain, power requires uglier tools, deception, manipulation, and calculated cruelty. The key? Never let them see the blade until it's already too late. Be the fox hiding beneath the face of the lamb. Be morally flexible, publicly virtuous, privately vicious. 4. The lion and the fox. Machiavelli compared successful rulers to 2 animals, the lion and the fox. The lion represents strength and intimidation. The fox represents cunning and deception. One can crush enemies, the other outsmarts them. Alone, neither survives. Together, they dominate. Strength alone is predictable. A brute force leader becomes easy to take down because their moves are obvious, but a purely cunning leader, One who only deceives may be seen as weak or untrustworthy. The genius is in combining both traits in the right balance. This applies to you even if you're not in politics. In business, relationships, or negotiations, you must know when to show strength and when to hide it, when to strike and when to smile. If you want to outlast your rivals, you must learn the dual nature of power. Be feared like a lion, but never see the trap too late like one. Be sly like a fox, but always ready to fight like a lion. 5. Fortune favors the bold. Machiavelli believed that fortune, luck, opportunity, fate, is like a woman. She favors the bold, the aggressive, the fearless. Waiting for the right time, being too cautious or hesitating can cost you everything. Fortune rewards those who take risks and make moves. He criticized leaders who sat back and hoped things would work out. To him, fortune is chaotic, but not entirely random. You can seize it if you act fast and decisively. Sometimes that means making brutal choices, taking bold action, or claiming power before someone else does. This applies to your own life too. Waiting for permission, fearing judgment, or doubting your ability will leave you behind. The game doesn't stop. Either you move with force or get moved. Whether it's your career, your ideas, or your place in society, fortune doesn't knock, you have to kick the door in. 6. The inevitable betrayal. In Machiavelli's world, betrayal is not an anomaly, it is an eventuality. It is not reserved for villains or traitors, it is a tool used by anyone playing the game of power. When you rise, others will cheer, but often, they're only cheering because your rise benefits them. The moment your power threatens their position, or your influence begins to overshadow theirs, those same hands that once clapped for you will prepare to strike you down. Consider history. Julius Caesar wasn't betrayed by enemies in battle. He was stabbed by his closest allies, men he dined with, laughed with, trusted. Brutus, whom he treated like a son, delivered the most unforgettable betrayal in political history. And yet, Machiavelli wouldn't have been surprised. In fact, he would say Caesar's real mistake wasn't becoming powerful, it was forgetting that power invites betrayal like heat draws shadows. The closer someone stands to your flame, the easier it is for them to snuff it out. Betrayal, according to Machiavelli, should not be feared, it should be expected, anticipated, planned for. The wise ruler, or in today's terms the wise operator, never builds their kingdom on the shaky foundation of trust alone. Instead, they build a system where betrayal costs more than loyalty, where consequences keep ambition in check. You don't prevent betrayal with kindness. You prevent it by ensuring the betrayer has more to lose than to gain. Because in the end, power is not about who loves you, it's about who fears losing you. The game is real. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to make you cruel, he wrote it to wake you up. Power is not won by the kindest or the most loyal, it is won by those who understand the rules and are willing to play them. In this world, no one is your friend. Not in power, not in politics, not when there's something at stake. But that's not a curse, that's your advantage. Because once you stop playing blind, you start playing to win. So, what kind of player will you be? If this video opened your eyes, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes this game is fair, because they're the first ones to fall.